Niagara Regional Police officer is in critical condition after being shot Thursday by a fellow officer during an altercation between the two men in rural Pelham, says Provincial Special Investigations Unit spokeswoman Monica Hudon. Hudon made her remarks shortly after 6 p.m. at a news conference on Roland Road just west of Effingham Street. She said officers were in the area conducting a follow-up investigation of a November 12 impaired driving collision in the area of Sulphur Spring Drive and Roland Road. Around noon there was an interaction between two of the officers and one of the officers was struck by a gunshot, said Hudon. The nature of the altercation between the officers has not been disclosed. She couldn't confirm the number of times the officer, identified by multiple police sources as Const Nathan Parker, was shot. But those sources told the Standard Parker was hit at least 5 times. The other officer involved in the incident has been identified by multiple police sources as DET Sergeant Shane Donovan of the Traffic Collision Reconstruction Unit. Hudon did not confirm the officers' names. Parker is reported to be 52 years old. Hudon did not have an age for the other officer. Niagara Emergency Medical Services paramedics treated Parker at the scene and transported him to an area hospital. Parker was later transferred by Ornair ambulance to Hamilton General Hospital where he was listed in critical condition. She also asked that anyone who may have video of the shooting to share it with the SU or upload it to the SU website. The SU investigates all incidents of serious injury or death involving police in Ontario. Understanding what transpired and the relationship between the two officers is part of the investigation. I can only tell you there was an altercation and a firearm was discharged, Hudon said. Asked the exact location of the incident, she said it was in the area of Effingham Street and Roland Road. It's very early in the investigation, we're in the preliminary stages and it will take time to gather all of the details. No charges have been laid. Niagara officers were blocking the area around the shooting and Hudon said they were holding the scene for this year. There was no word on when Effingham, blocked between 16 Road and Wessel Drive, and Roland, blocked between Sulphur Spring and just west of Effingham, would be reopened. In a release, NRP Chief Brian McCulloch said in the spirit of transparency, he asked the OP to determine if there was any criminal culpability outside of the SU's scope. The days and weeks ahead will be trying ones for the regional police family and the community we serve. I ask for your support for our members and all those involved, McCulloch said. In a release earlier in the day, police said because the SU is involved the service is prohibited from providing further information. Parker has a long and troubled history with the NRP, having faced at least 4 disciplinary hearings, 3 of which involved violence. In 2015, Parker was docked 120 hours pay after pleading guilty to discreditable conduct and unnecessary use of force against a prisoner under the Police Services Act. In 2012, Parker was docked 60 hours of pay after pleading guilty to discreditable conduct after pursuing his own investigation into a commanding officer who had been cleared of wrongdoing from a previous incident. Parker was found guilty of using unnecessary force in 2011 and docked 90 days pay for arresting a cyclist without cause in 2008. And in 2007, Parker lost a week's pay after he was found guilty in a disciplinary hearing for pepper spraying a prisoner who was handcuffed and restrained in the back seat of a cruiser in 2005. The impaired driving collision investigation seen the 2 officers were involved in an incident that happened November 12 at about 10:54 p.m. It was determined a 19-year-old Pelham man was operating a 2016 Ford Focus with 2 19-year-old female passengers when he was unable to negotiate a curve and lost control, entered a ditch and struck a tree. The vehicle burst into flames, and the fire was extinguished by the Pelham Fire Department. The vehicle was destroyed. The man was able to get out of the car, but the 2 passengers had to be rescued from the burning vehicle by a local resident and a passing motorist. They both sustained serious injuries, with one later being transported to an out-of-region trauma center for treatment of critical injuries. Mike Zettel, a reporter with the Tribune's sister paper Niagara This Week, spoke with Donovan Thursday morning near the investigation scene. He was very friendly and very helpful, said Zettel. Often when a reporter gets to a scene like that, the officer you talk to is just there at the roadblock and might not know anything about the incident. But I got lucky. Donovan was able to explain what was going on. The Police Services Union, Niagara Region Police Association, has mobilized to provide support to the impacted officers, police staff, and their families. Association President Cliff Priest, who is also an NRP officer, said there haven't been many cases of NRP officers being shot while on duty, but each one is difficult for the entire service.